Now part 6 is the other side of the chassis, and it's just pushing in a couple of bearings. Which are really tight. Again. And they're in and done. Now we'll have one last look at the gear goodness. And there is many of them. But one thing again, where I keep saying about, is this a replacement for the WR02? I think it is, because it was known for being a symmetrical chassis where it had 2 gearboxes, 1 bolted each end, identical on an identical chassis, which was, each side was the same. And if you look at this, it's completely identical, one end to the other, on the steering section and everything. So more so, I think so it is. Right, the next stage is to put on this part, or I should say the other side of the gearbox. And it should fall on relatively simple, or not. Just needed a bit of a rattle. So we've got it right way round. Let's work out the screws. Now it says, according to the instructions, if I've got it correct, which I think I have, is one goes in here, so the main thing is get your 10 out so you know you're doing it. One in there. Actually thinking about it logically, what have I just said? It's symmetrical. So whatever screw you put in, quite obviously there should be one equal. So if we put one in here, there'll be one roughly the same distance. I would say there. So that one's a bit more awkward to get to. Well, we have 4 screws in, isn't it? Right, so we've done those even. That's not a screw hole, so that won't be a screw hole. So this one up here will be. And there should be one roughly in the same position at the other end. There we go. Then there should be another lower one. And an upper one at one end. Just take that one. That is it. And then, like I said, symmetrical, the last 2 screws at the other end. And that completes basically the gearbox chassis. Now section 8 is prepping the motor. You've got your gasket, put that on and line it up like so, and temporary I'm putting on the aluminium gear. I thought I might have had a gear to use, but well, I've got a steel one, but it's typical. This takes 18, 20 and 17, and the gear I've got is a 19. And I haven't got, and the only other gear, if I swapped around even with me TTO2, is another 19, so I'll have to get an 18, so I don't want to over gear it. Well, I might go to the 20, but definitely haven't got that. But for assembly, this gear will have to do. But I don't recommend using these aluminium gears because they just dissolve and destroy, and they do sort of turn to a horrible grey mush. But that's part 8. Now part 9, fitting the motor. I'll put a bit of grease on because it'll probably be used for test, because I don't know how long it'll take once I order for the gear to arrive. Let's have a look. Best to probably drop the screws in so you've got them in the right holes. 18 across. That should be it. And then fiddle the motor into place. Eventually it will line up. And then we put this bit on the front here, and this goes on with 2 screws, no 4 screws. I did not get enough out. Funny enough, this part is like a part of the old Wild Willie 2 bumper mount for the sprung bumper. And that's that plate on the front. Now part 10 is fitting the little plastic motor guard. That just sort of slides in there and goes in with the only 12mm screw, so make sure you've not used that by mistake in advance. I bet they come out with a metal replacement. But that completes part 10 and bag A.